Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Salvatore Rex. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite card tricks, classic card magic called Out of This World. The plot is fairly simple. The idea is you have a red card, you have a black card, and then you take face down cards and ask the spectator, is this card red or black, using just their intuition. And then halfway through the trick, they can start dealing the cards themselves onto red or black, whichever they feel. And in the end, we reveal that the spectator was right all along, that all the red cards and all the black cards are exactly where they're supposed to be. There's a lot of ways of doing this, and a lot of them involve using pre-set up decks. I prefer this method that I first saw on, I believe it was Michael Marr, on a DVD of his, where he did a completely shuffled deck in use out of this world. And that's the version that I do and the version that I'll be teaching today. So let's get into it. So this trick is going to start off with a shuffled deck. You can let the spectator shuffle, it's what I like to do, but just for, visual example, here are all the cards all shuffled. Now what you're going to do when you start this trick, you're going to tell the spectator, we're going to do a little test of intuition. So we're going to use some indicator cards. Let me just get some out of the deck. We're going to use some indicator cards. We'll use this one, and we'll use this one. Which one's red, which one's black? Spectator answers, doesn't really matter. We're going to show a red and a black card no matter what. Now, what we're going to do is take cards one at a time, face down, and ask red or black. So we'll just alternate for now, just to prove there really isn't any setup or anything like that. So I'm just taking cards out, and if there was a spectator here, I would say red or black, and I would put it on whatever pile they told me to. Just getting some more cards. Red or black, red or black. Just alternating right now, red or black. You don't want to do this too many times because it does eventually get kind of stale, but it is necessary since it is a shuffled deck. So at this point, we have enough this way. So we tell the spectator, okay, we're going to get some new indicator cards. So since this was previously the black pile, it now gets a red card to be the red pile, and this gets a black card to be the black pile. Now you're going to put the deck face down, invite the spectator to cut about halfway, and then deal based on whether they think the card is red or if they think the card is black. I'm just going to alternate for sake of convenience, but you can do it however you like. Now we're left in this, we're going to square everything up. We'll take a look, tell the spectator they did a pretty good job over here. And over here you can see all the red cards right before the indicator card, all the black cards right before the indicator card, all the black cards, and all the red cards right there. So that's Out of This World. Let's talk about how it's done. So to start, you are really telling the truth. The deck is shuffled. And the deck can and should be shuffled by the spectator. That way that they can't backtrack it and just say, oh, you had half the red cards, half the black cards, and they can figure it out. So it really is a shuffled deck. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna necktie this pretty hard, meaning you're gonna have this really close to the chest, not giving a lot of room for anybody to see what cards you're pulling out of where. And all you're gonna do is set your indicator cards down, and here's what's happening. Here's the real mechanics of the trick. You are going to look through until you find a big chunk of red cards, usually about 4 or 5, but this one we got 6, we got lucky, and we're immediately going to cut that to the top. It's going to make our life a lot easier, as you'll see. And all we're going to do, if you look, is we're going to take every black card and ask red or black, and regardless of where they put it, we're going to listen and put it where they say. We're not touching the red cards. We're going to leave all the red cards. We're just taking the black cards out of the top half. One at a time. If you have a bunch of, a chunk of black cards all together, like right here, if that was in your top half, I would just go ahead and cut this to the bottom. Just make your life easier. There's really no need to go through this more times than is necessary because it is the less impressive part of the trick. So a few more black cards, And we'll cut these 3 to the bottom. We'll do this one, and we'll do one more. So now we're left in this position where we've got about half the deck is all red cards, and there's just indifferent cards at the bottom. You would square these up. Now, just so we know where we're at here, there's all black cards under both of these, right? We have only black cards under both queens. Now we're gonna tell the spectator we're gonna switch the indicator cards. And what we're doing is we're making damn sure that if they cut at about middle, they're getting only red cards. So that's our opportunity to get rid of or ditch the last black card or two, is to do that. Now all you need to do is put the deck face down, spectator picks it up, cuts about half, and you can see they've cut just red cards. So we'll split those in half, throw it on each pile. That's basically what happened. So we're left in a position like this, where one pile is 100% correct. One pile, you can keep your eye on it, usually the right pile, is 100% correct. It has a black indicator card, a bunch of black cards, a red indicator card, and a bunch of red cards. That's done. That you don't need to do anything. This pile I keep my eye on, make sure I know which pile it is, hand it to my spectator, and let them turn the cards over. While they're turning the cards over, let me just get this back in the order it's supposed to be so we can show you. Perfect. All right. A little bit of dirty work on this one. Now the situation we've got here is we've got black cards under a red card and red cards. Oh, I'm sorry. There's supposed to be a black indicator card here. There we go. Black indicator card, red cards. So what you're going to do is while they're looking and being amazed that they were able to do that one, you're just going to sort of turn this over and show them the pad of black cards. Turn this over and show them the pad of red cards. And then your indicator cards you just sort of ditch. You can, if you think you can get away with it, you can switch the indicator cards and, you know, be a little crafty about it. But to be honest, this way has never done me wrong, you know, because they're already amazed at the first half. And the second half, you just show them and throw the cards where they belong. They don't know where each card comes from. They're distracted. So you can sort of get away with just having, you're only gonna have one card out of place. You're gonna have one red card out of place. So all you need to do is hang on to that red card and put it where it needs to go. So just again, so you get an idea of what I'm talking about, we'll go through it one more time, not the whole trick, but just this part. So we've got that, these on top, we've got that, no. That, these on top, that, these on top. So when we square all this up and pick it up to look through to say, oh, what a great job you did, spectator. You know, this is the position we're in right now. We've got a black indicator card above all the red cards, red indicator card above all the black cards. Sorry. All you're gonna need to do is fan out these cards, turn this hand down so they don't see the black indicator card, just wrist kill. Turn this over, show them all the red cards they found, and then show them all the black cards they found, and then you're left with these two cards in your hand. And all you do, that's simple. I know it sounds, you know, a little bit too good to be true, or, you know, maybe a little bit overly simplistic, but the reality is they're gonna see this pile first. They're gonna see this pile where they've perfectly separated the reds and blacks and they've turned it over on their own and you didn't even touch the cards. So they're gonna see this first, and then they're gonna see this. So this is not so much a reveal as it is just reinforcing what they've already seen you do. So the heat's not really on these two cards when they're in your hand. All you gotta do is just... Some closing thoughts on Out of This World. Now, I love this trick, and every time I've performed it for people, they have responded extremely well to it. And I think part of the reason is that the deck is truly shuffled. There's no deck switch. Everything's clean. And there really isn't any sleight of hand to mess up. So it's a really great trick to sort of get you warmed up if you're not totally acclimated to doing sleight of hand for people. This is a little bit of a bold way of doing a trick that isn't a self-working trick that you can really fool a spectator with. It is a fooling trick. It looks amazing from the other side. So I would say definitely run through this a few times, get used to the idea of, sort of setting up the deck for yourself, because there is a lot of feeling to it. Like there isn't so much a procedure on your end. On the spectator's end, it looks very procedural, but on the magician's end, it isn't as procedural, because you are sort of cutting cards to the bottom. You are, sort of finagling with the deck in a way the spectator doesn't totally know what's going on, and you're doing it up front so that later the effect is as far away as possible from you sort of setting the deck up for yourself. And you're setting it up while you're doing the trick. You're removing the black cards from the top half of the deck to leave only red cards while you're doing the trick after it's been shuffled. So it looks miraculous in the end. I think, with a little practice and a little bit of showmanship, this trick can do a lot of work for you. But I think that's about all I've got on my handling of or really Michael Amar's handling of Out of This World. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like what you see and you want more tutorials, subscribe. It helps me a lot, and like the video, because that also helps me a lot, and who doesn't want to be helpful? Until the next time, you guys take care of yourselves.